You, we are here. We are here. The man of the hour, Rashidi Locario, in the building. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? How you been? How you been?
Been good, man. Been good, man. Can't complain. Can't complain.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. So today's topic is saying, why having good credit is important now more than ever. So what's going on right now in this day and age at this time where it's like important? You know what I'm saying? Where people got to make it happen.
Yeah, man. I mean, now it's more important ever than, like you said, to have good credit. Solely because interest rates on everything is just going up, man. I mean, everything is coming back full circle. Just because everybody knows what's going on in the housing market, where houses are crazily priced right now. And, houses are 30-40% more than what it used to be the past 2 years.
Right.
And so now what's going on is that, the president and the government is starting to shut that down. Starting next year, they're trying to stop the house prices going up. Mm. But on the flip side, interest rates are going back up to what they used to be. So right now that affects everything and everybody. So that means that, pretty much a house that you paid $250,000 for last year is going for $320,000. So now the government's like, all right, we're going to stop that. But now the interest rate is going up. So what that means is that if all the houses that was $250,000 last year that cost $320,000 and the interest rate is back to what it used to be, now your mortgage payments might be like $3,000 a month. You know what I mean? So right now, and it's affecting everything. I mean, look at cars. You can't find it. You can't find a used car nowhere right now. So you got to buy brand new. So the price of that's going up. So think about it. If the interest rates is going up on the cars, that means that your payment is going up. That means that you're paying more over a period of time. So right now, everything is getting affected with inflation, man. So a lot of things are going to be on credit because let's be honest, how much stuff could you always afford only on cash?
Right.
I mean, outside of basic food and little stuff like that, I mean, you can't really afford too much straight on cash, And even if you can't afford to keep doing it. I mean, how many times can you keep dropping $1,000 on this item you need, or $1,000 on that item you need, or $4,000 on this item, or you know what I mean? So that's why it's crucial right now, man, to get your credit game up.
See, man, and this is why you guys got to get rich, man. You know what I'm saying? but even if you're rich, because let me ask you a question. Let's say you have you got money. Does it? Because I remember you was talking about this. It still makes sense to use credit, right? Because then you can get other shit popping off. So what would you say? Even because some people were like, "Well, I got the money, I could use cash." Would you still advise people who got the cash to still use credit? And there's benefits for that. You know what I'm saying? For them using that. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just doing it straight cash.
Absolutely. To be honest with you, the most people that say that though, I have no idea what they're talking about. To be honest with you, the people that actually have cash. And just for the record, being rich is you're not even safe if you're rich, to be honest with you. But the truth is, to stay rich and to become wealthy, all that stuff is on credit. People that got that money, the whole purpose is they leave that money in the account. It's all on credit. It's all on credit. Right. You know what I mean? 90% of the people you see driving those expensive, nice cars is on credit. Don't get me wrong. There's some small percentage of exceptions to the rule where they can pay cash or put a $20,000 deposit down. But for the most part, all the people see those cars, it's all on credit. Like, why not live on credit? Let's just be honest. I mean, it's one of those things where if you got a credit card where you got a $50,000 credit limit, why would you use $50,000 cash when you can use $30,000 on credit? You know what I mean? Like, that's why it's all a gimmick. Nobody really lives on cash. It's an illusion. The only thing they pay for cash is simple stuff like, I might buy jewelry. If that type of person has money, all right, I might have $5,000. Let me just spend $5,000 cash on the chain. Because who wants to pay interest on a chain? But outside of that, all those people, credit. Nice cars, credit. House, credit. You know what I mean? Everything they have is on. Because think about it. A lot of times, there's a lot of things where you can pay zero interest. You know what I mean? There's programs, promos. I mean, even with the Black Friday sale and stuff like that. You see no interest for 3 years. Literally, why would you spend $5,000 out of your own pocket on furniture when you could pay no interest for 3 years for $100 a month? Credit. Right. You know what I mean? You keep that money in the bank just in case of real emergency, or better yet, the real smart people and rich people using that money, putting it in stocks, insurance, buying insurance policies to gain interest to make money off that money while they use the credit to pay for their lifestyle. It's all on credit, man. Not all, but most people, this is credit.
I want to say too, a lot of people don't realize, but there are a lot of benefits to using credit. Even if you have a decent cash flow, it actually makes sense to use credit day to day for your day to day purchases.
Right.
And the reason why I say that is because a lot of people don't realize that there are points, and there's a lot of points and cash back on a lot of things. Like, for example, I have a gas card, so I save $10 at the pump, and then on my bill I also get 5% cash back. You understand what I'm saying? If I go spend money online, like if I buy something off of Amazon, that's like 2-3% cash back. Like, and it's not a big deal, right? However, the thing is that if you spend your cash money out of your debit account, but you use your debit card to buy something on Amazon, you don't get any benefits off that.
Right.
You get no travel points, no points. Because, for example, I have things set up where I got credit cards being used, and then if I want to book a hotel or if I want to rent a car,
right,
I go into my points, and that rent a car is free, or that rent a car is like 80% off. You understand what I'm saying? Because of the points that I built up. So it's like if you still broke and you're trying to build yourself up, then this might not be for you. However, if you have a decent cash flow and you got money coming in, it makes sense to use credit for day-to-day purchase and just pay it off.
Right.
Every couple of days, just pay off the balance because you get a benefit for spending. It's like these financial institutions are paying you a benefit for spending money through credit.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Because for example, like you have to understand, if you rack up like a $1,000 balance on a credit card, when you send them the money, it takes about 2 days for the payment to post.
Right.
But let's just say you sent them $800 to pay off, to pay a $1,000 balance on your credit card. Within those 2 days, guess what these financial institutions are doing with your money?
Right.
And they are, for those 48 hours, they are taking your money, putting it on the stock market, buying crypto, whatever the fuck it is. They are investing your money. And then after that, after the 2 days, then they actually apply it to your credit balance.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? This is a part of the reason why they give you incentives and points and discounts and all that type of shit to spend money. You understand? That's literally how it works. So if you have, and on top of that, if you know how to manage your credit cards, your credit score your credit score goes up as well.
Right.
So if you know how to, if you have the goal is to have 3 credit cards and to keep all your balances around 20% of the limit. So if you have $8,000 if you have a $10,000 credit limit, keep your balances at, anywhere below $2,000, anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000. If you can keep your balances right there on all of your credit cards at less than 20 to 30% usage, they call it, right? 20% usage on each one of your cards, and you divvy up your expenses that way. What it does is it shows these companies that you know how to manage money, and you also get incentives. You get, like I said, you get cash back, you get discounted rates, you get money off on certain purchases, and you get points. And when those points rack up, you can apply them to a hotel stay. You can apply them to a plane ticket. You can apply them to a rent-a-car. You can even apply them to buying clothes. Right? So so imagine this: you go to Macy's, you wait till there's a sale, and you get something off the clearance rack, right? So it's 20% off for the sale. It's another 10% off because it's clearance, and you get in a discount on it because of the points you're applying to your Macy's card or your Bloomingdale's. Look, let me tell you something. A lot of people don't understand. A lot of broke people don't understand that a lot of rich people, they're not rich because they have a lot of money necessarily, although a lot of them do, but it's really what they do with the money.
Right.
Because the average broke person is going to keep a wad of cash on them and peel off bills when they're trying to buy something.
Right.
A rich nigga is going to use the card of an institution and get incentives and points for spending money.
Right.
But you have to understand something. Money is the reason why they call money currency is because it flows like electricity.
Mm-hmm.
So the more you spend money, and I'm not saying this for you to spend recklessly, but what I'm saying is if you're going to spend money, you might as well do it in a way that you can get rewarded for something you were going to do anyway.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So and I mean, different credit cards give different incentives and different benefits. So pick whichever one you can apply, what you can qualify for, and do what's best for you. But you have to keep it. You have to understand cash flow and the money that you're spending.
Right.
You understand? So that means you have a certain amount of money coming in, and you're not going to spend beyond that. Because you have a lot of these crazy people who they get a credit card and they be like, oh, the credit limit is $15,000. Oh shit, I'm about to go buy something that costs $14,999 right now.
Right.
Like, nah, nigga, like, what are you doing? Like, no, go to the store, buy some chicken and some mayonnaise and some bread and some peanut butter and jelly, shit that you would regularly buy on your debit card. Just use your credit card and then pay the balance from your checking account onto your credit card. That's where the incentives comes in. That's where all the points come in. And then the next time you go up, you like, oh, I want to fly to Houston. I want to fly over here, or I want to book a hotel, or I want to do this, I want to do that. You go into your account and then you see how many points you have. You be like, oh shit, I got $50 in points, and the hotel room only costs $99. So then you end up paying only $49 for the damn hotel. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
This is how it works. But again, the average person who's just getting into the frame, when they understand their money, they're like, oh, well, I only want to spend what I have and I'm not trying to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you have to have a certain mindset when it comes to money. You have to understand what's coming in. You have to understand how to use it. And you have to understand you can't spend more than what you have. You can't allow money to go out more than what you have coming in. You understand what I'm saying? And that's really what it is. But if you understand money, you get rewarded, bro. And you got to understand, I just gave y'all small percentages. You got to understand the average, like, wealthy person whose daily expenditure is in the 5 figures. Right. Imagine the amount of points that they're getting, like frequent flyer miles, points, cash back for these larger purchases. Now, mind you, they have damn near 6 figures coming in on a daily basis, right? But they're probably spending 5 figures on a daily basis. You feel me? Or a weekly basis or a monthly basis, whatever it is. Right. But with all the money that they're spending, you see these people wearing all this designer clothes. You see these people staying at the biggest hotels and all this type of shit. You see these people driving around in these cars. Half the time it's rented. Right. And they use their credit points to pay for that shit. You understand? You see them on a first class flight. They're using their credit points to pay for that shit. Right. You understand? But that's because they're playing the game, and they're, instead of just spending your plain cash money, they're using credit to gain incentives, points, and cash back and all that type of shit to kind of balance out the game. Because it's like, well, if I'm gonna spend money, y'all gonna have to reward me because I'm keeping the economy going. Plus, I'm giving these fucking credit card companies the opportunity to take my money and play the stock market with it to make even more money. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Now that's dope. That's dope. And I think Rashid, I wanted to ask you this. Do you think the reason why people don't want to use credit is either because I know me personally, before I was like, man, I don't want to have to deal with all that shit because I feel like I'm gonna forget to pay it back, and I don't want to. Or you might feel like, oh, I got all this money I could spend. I'm gonna probably just be spending more than I have. So, do you think shit like that is what keeps people from even dealing with credit cards and stuff like that? Is that in your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, the number one thing, Ms. Locar, that keeps people from using credit is that it's not taught in school. Just like common sense is not taught on how to handle life in school. Right. Is just go to school, get a degree, and then everything's going to work out. But we all know that's not the truth. The truth is, though, like 90% of Americans don't know how credit works. So if you don't know how something works, only thing you can rely on is stereotypes. Right. So the have-nots just have the stereotype that, oh, if you have bad credit, you can't do anything, and my family already has bad credit, so I can't do anything. So I can only go as far as the cash that I have in my pocket takes me. The haves, the people that have stuff, they don't know. They actually don't know about credit at all either. They just know all the right things to do in general, and they follow those general things to do, and so therefore their credit is just naturally good because they have a basic formula. But the have-nots don't even have a basic formula, and overall, nobody has a formula because, like I said, it's not taught in school. It's not education. In terms of with the business with RKT, when we work with people with credit, to be honest with you, you'd be shocked. Every type of person comes across me from all cultures and all races that don't know nothing about credit. All they know is that I should not make a payment late on time and that I shouldn't use or max out my credit card. That is the most the average person knows about credit. And so that's why, to answer your question, Mr. Locardi, really just stems from not understanding, not knowing what credit is. But the truth is, all credit is it's a lifestyle, and all it is just moving money around. That's all it is.
Right.
That's it. Because the truth is, go ahead, Miles. You want to say something?
No, I was going to say, and it has to do with leverage as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because remember, you can buy something that's a little bit more expensive, or you could buy something that you need right now, and you don't have to pay. You don't actually have to pay for it for 30 days.
Yeah.
You understand? And that's the like, for example, there was a guy I watched on YouTube, and they call him the credit king or some shit like that. But he was talking about how he uses his credit card to pay for expensive marketing for his business.
Right.
He'll take a credit card and he'll have a big limit on it. So his credit card limit is like $50,000 or $100,000. And he'll do $100,000 campaign for his business, but he knows that $100,000 campaign is going to bring him $500,000 in revenue for the month.
Right, exactly.
And so imagine at the top of the month, he uses his credit card and he pays for maybe like a $50,000 or $75,000 campaign on Facebook or whatever it is. Right. And he markets out to all these people, and that brings him in so much business that he's able to make $5,000, $6,000, $700,000 for the month. And I said that's leverage.
Right.
Now I've used. So the thing is, you have to figure out a way that the credit, like the money that's available to you, the credit line, you have to use it in a way that's going to leverage you more money than you send out. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. That's why it's so crazy when those dumb niggas be like, yo, my credit limit is $10,000. Nigga, I'm gonna buy $10,000 in rims, nigga.
Right.
It's like, wait, so are you gonna sell those rims? Nah, nigga, I'm about to put it on my car and roll through the hood so I can stun on niggas. And it's like,
right.
Like that's all you trying to do with $10,000? No, market your business. Use $10,000 to market your business. Make $50,000. So now you pay back that $10,000. You're left with $40,000.
Exactly.
That's your money now, and now you can put that in the situation and do that shit every month. See what I'm saying? That's what a lot of people don't understand. I'm sorry.
And it's crazy, you know what I mean? And even to talk to, it looks like Nalvin Johnson, his comment, a lot of people use money with credit borrowing off the assets. It's full circle with everything Miles said and Navin just said, and everything Mr. Locario said as far as why do people do what they do? Because I mean, I use myself as an example as far as how I live on everything I do is on credit. You know what I mean? I use certain things cash. I mean, to give an example, as far as people not having money and things of that nature, I'm not rich. You know what I mean? But I just straight up live off credit. What does that look like? You know what I mean? I'm now at a way better place in credit prior to 5 years ago. but you know what I mean? But I had to start from somewhere. So
Right.
I'll use my example, in terms of credit cards. I started like everybody else, a $500 Capital One card or First Premier Bank, which is the worst credit card of all time. You know what I mean? Now I have credit card limits of like 25,000, you know what I mean? 15,000, and it continues to grow because I use credit wisely. So literally what I'll do is I know when my credit reports to the credit bureau, my credit dates, when I got to make a payment on my credit card, I can use $10,000 if I pay it by a certain date, it'll never show on my credit, and it will build on my credit, and the credit report with the credit card, because like Miles said, they make money off of you. They say, oh, you use this $10,000 wisely because you were able to use that $10,000 on your credit card. We made $20,000 off of you, so now we're going to reward you with 10, 15 per points on your credit score to go up, and we're going to boost you up if you keep this behavior up another $10,000 on your credit limit. So now I got a $25,000 credit limit. It's all about money and just moving money all around. Like credit is straight a lifestyle. Everything's on credit. From everything's on credit. From every single store, everybody's on credit. Businesses is on credit. Everybody's on credit. Who has all that cash? Who has all the cash? Donald Trump is on credit. He was on credit, so he went bankrupt and he didn't have to pay nothing back. Nobody has that type of amount of money where you're just buying buildings and buying this all straight cash. And even if you did, you're piss poor. So if you use all your money on these things you're buying in cash, if something goes wrong, you no longer can replace it. That's why it's only but so far cash can actually stretch on you. Right. If you think about it, how could America function if we weren't on credit, if we were in trillions of dollars in debt? Like, really let that sink in, though. Like, if we're in $1 trillion in debt, but people still living lives, some people are still rich as hell, some people still getting $100, $200 million. Everything has to be based on credit. But it's just, taking the first simple steps with getting that credit card, and like Miles said, just using it the right way, not overusing it. Keeping it under 30% of your balance. So if you have a $3,000 limit, keeping it under that $3,000 limit, like he said, staying in that 20% range. They just keep giving you more money. You keep using it smarter, and you keep getting more money, and you can use that money and do other things. I'll give you a perfect example. Like how he says, your assets. If you own a home and you have a 401k and you have your first house, and you buy a second house, you got equity in your house because you're using everything on credit, because that's a form of credit. You might say, let me borrow $30,000, $40,000 from my house, buy this other house, rent it out, build some cash back up, pay myself back with interest, don't get taxed, no tax on it, and I'm making a crate. Like, it's so many ways. Just a regular person that wake up every single day can make money, but the first step is really calling RKT appraisals and really breaking down how you use credit. But we could get you in a spot where within a year or two, you'd be chilling, man, living everything on credit, living a good life, the same life that you saw everybody else living. You doing the same thing. So
that's what's up. And so what would you give or what would you say to people who, because when you got to pay back your you got to pay the credit card or whatever, what do you say to people who are like, I don't want to say irresponsible, but they might forget. They might be like, damn, I forgot to pay the at this time. Like, what are some ways, like, where they got to set an alarm on their phone or some shit to remind them? Like, what do you do to remind yourself, like, so you don't miss the deadline, so you don't have to pay like extra, because you know what I'm saying? What are some things that people could like do that? You know what I mean?
No, to tell you the truth, in terms of from just telling a regular person, out there, I just tell them that it's majorly important to, like you said, set alarms. Just, you know what I mean? Just take it serious as far as a lifestyle, and understand that if you miss a payment, it's going to drop your credit score 10 points. So I tell people real numbers, like you miss a payment, that might drop you 5 to 10 points off your credit. So normally that alarms you, like, oh, is that much? Yeah, it's that much. You know what I mean? Like, so just giving people real facts and just letting them know it's important that, you need to pay your stuff on time, because at the end of the day, if you didn't pay your rent on time, you have that fear of getting evicted. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't pay your cell phone, your phone is cutting off. Everything else is the same concept. The only difference is it just slowly kills you in the background. That's the only difference. Right. A cell phone is immediate, so you don't pay a cell phone bill. That my phone cut off. I can't talk, so you pay it immediately. You know what I mean? Those type of things. But letting you know that the things that you don't do, it kills you softly and slowly, and does way more damage in the long run. And by the time you catch on, you hit. But I straight up just tell people, like, hey, you lose 5-10 points every time you miss a payment, and it stays on your credit report for 7 years. lose 10 points, you got a record for 7 years. I always tell people, I compare credit to like a criminal record. They're going to judge you a little bit. If you went to jail for a felony, you shot somebody, they're going to judge you forever. You know what I mean? Even if you went to jail for a random ticket, that's a misdemeanor. You're still going to get judged. Credit is the same way. They're just going to judge you a little bit. So the best thing you want to do is get less judged. You know what I mean? Not that you know what I mean? We all human. Things happen, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, don't give people anything to look at you at. Because that's the reality situation is because everything everybody looks at, banks, I mean, even your light bill. If you late all the time, they're not going to approve you for certain programs. But if you're not late with your light bill, they might be, hey, we got this program right now where we could wipe away half your bill. Or we could freeze your bill. Like, it's so many things where if you pay your stuff on time, they'll work with you. Because think about it. If you borrow $300 from somebody because you on hard times and you tell them, yo, I'm going to pay back your money on time, I got you. And you pay back the money on time, guess what? They're going to feel comfortable lending you money all the time.
Right.
But if you that person where he lent by $300 and I got to chase you around for 5 months, you don't give me my money back, I'm never going to lend you money again. And if I do lend you money again, I'm going to make sure that you give me my money back, signing contracts, or you know what I mean, you give me some type of collateral, something. Because and that's the same way credit works.
Right.
You know,
so let me ask you this real quick. I heard having no credit is the same as having bad credit. Is that true?
Yeah, to a certain degree. So what it means is that so what it is that with no credit, like the example I just gave, it actually ties to the example I gave. With no credit, we don't know yet. We don't trust you. You have no credibility. Right. So if you have zero credit, I can't just give you $5,000. So what happens with a person with zero credit? For example, if you get a credit card, they're gonna start you off with a $250 limit, $500 limit. You know what I mean? Now versus a credit that has, say, bad credit, but say they have a credit card and their limit is $5,000, but they're maxing it out at, you know, they say they have like $4,000, almost at the max amount. They'll probably still approve that person for like $1,200. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, he's still paying his bill, but at the same time, he's using too much money. But at least I know he pays his bill, so I trust him with a little bit more money. You know what I mean? So that's where it's at.
Oh, Miles, you muted.
Yeah, you're muted.
What I'm gonna say too is that it's like honestly, it's really just it's like you said, moving money around, but also I feel like just think about it like I don't know, maybe like a condom.
Right.
Right? Where it's like if you use your debit card, it's like fucking somebody raw. Right? Where it's like it's just no matter what you do, there's a chance of, you know, getting somebody pregnant, STDs, this, that, and the third, right? With a debit card, it's really the same. I mean, with a credit card, it's really the same thing. It's really the same money. The only thing is now you have a little bit of insulation.
Right.
You understand? So you have the benefit of enjoying all the pleasures of spending your money with the added benefit of protection from STDs and protection from unwanted pregnancies.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So here's what it is. You have your checking account attached to your debit card. Now, there might be a point where you might want to use your debit card for something, but just leave your debit card to the side. It, you know, it's whatever. What you do is you get a credit card, and then every time you spend money on the credit card, you say bye-bye to money on the credit card. You also have to consider that money has to come from your checking account.
Right.
So you say to yourself, it's something that you could do every day. It's really something you can do every day. You say to yourself, damn, how much money I spent today? I went to groceries, I got the car washed, I did some laundry, and I took my girl out for pizza. That was about $250. Listen, going because it's easy now. Banking is easy, right? Just go straight into your online banking and send $250 to pay that credit card from your debit account. You see what I'm saying? Because it's really the same thing. It's just like I said, you get added benefits for using the credit card instead of the debit card. You understand? Because you have leverage. But the thing is, don't worry about the leverage. Pay it as you spend. That's what you do.
Right.
Pay it as you spend. Because a lot of people think that these financial institutions is trying to do you a favor. They're not really trying to do you a favor. They're trying to entice you to spend a certain way so you can do them a favor.
Exactly.
Right. But at the end of the day, pay your shit. You know, you spent $100 today, send $100, pay $100 off that credit card. You know, you spent $250 today, pay $250. And if you know you can't afford to spend $250, don't spend $250.
Right.
That's all. Because remember, your credit limit don't mean shit. Just because you have a credit limit of $10,000, it don't mean nothing.
Right.
Only buy with credit what you can actually afford. And if you do that and you pay it every day, every couple of days, you'll be straight and you'll be building credit like a motherfucker.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Your credit score will go up, and because a lot of people love to wait until the end of the month and only pay the minimum balance and all that shit. Nah, that's why I was saying cash flow is important. You know, you got a certain amount of cash coming in that you could always pay off your credit balance. You see what I'm saying? And that's where you need to be.
Right. So last question we got here is from Preach, says best money tips for a 20-year-old.
I mean, to be honest with you, the best tip is live your truth and stay in your lane. What I mean by that, though, you know, when I was 20 years old, man, listen, I'm 20 or 21. When I was 21, I go to bars, man. Listen, I'm drinking before I get to the bars. You know what I mean? Right before, so I'm nice and drunk right before I get in there. This way, I don't gotta buy a whole bunch of drinks. You know what I mean? I mean, for me personally, I take it to another level and sneak a little drink in my pocket. And this way, I don't really have to buy enough when I get in there. And if I do want to buy something, I buy a little girl a drink. You know what I mean? I had a 1 drink minimum. You know what I mean? One chick I'm trying to take home. I had a little $20 to buy her a drink, but I'm already nice and drunk. So we all nice and toasty. We all good. So the truth is staying in your lane, man. Like at 21 years old, you're not expected to be rich. You're not expected to have money. And the only 20, 21-year-olds that actually have money is handed down from some family member or your parents or whatever the case is. And the truth is the people that's going to be around you that help you spend that money ain't going to respect you because they know any logical person know that you're not supposed to have that money at that age. So they don't care how you use it. So the truth is just save your money and be wise about how you spend it. So don't overspend. Don't try to impress people. Get stuff on the budget and straight up let people know I ain't rich. I'm young. That's my best advice for 20-year-olds. And you do those things and follow the formulas of what we just talked about today, you'll definitely be rich. Because doing the stuff that we're talking about now, doing it at 20, by the time you're 30, 35, you will be a millionaire. Like there's no doubt about it. No exaggeration. More information, call RKT Appraisals. Check out the website. But I'm dead serious. That's my tip for a young person, 2021.
If this person is 20, I forgot who was talking. I think it was Warren Buffett or Grant Cardone, one of them niggas. Or Gary Vaynerchuk, one of them niggas. Basically, they said if every week you put in $28 into a mutual fund account, in 15 years, you should have like 1-point-something million.
Wow, that's crazy.
Every week. If you religiously put in $28 every single week for the next 15 years, you should just about be a millionaire in 15 years.
That's absolutely, and just to piggyback off you, Miles, that's absolutely the truth. Yeah, because you know, with the life insurance piece, if you get a life insurance policy at the age of 20 years old and you dump that money into that policy, by the time you're 30, 40, you know what I mean? First off, you get it dirt cheap. It's nothing but like $10 to $20 a month. You get it dirt cheap, and by the time, like you said, like by the time you're 30 or 40, that life insurance policy, depending on how much it is, you can borrow like $150,000, $200,000. You know what I mean? Off top, and still have a policy limit of like 500,000. Like it's like, just to go off your point, Miles, it's definitely true. Putting it in money market funds, life insurance policies, because that's pre-tax and no tax. The amount of money you could, man, what annuities? Listen, there's money to be made out here though. 20 years, that nigga 20 years old. Keep a job and keep saving your fucking money, bro. If you do that shit,
by the time he's 40, he be good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
don't just save your money, but save your money into what we're talking about: money market accounts, mutual funds, stocks, or if you got a 401k at your job, keep putting your money into those type of things, and you'll see that by the time you're 35, 40, you'll be close to a millionaire, if not already a millionaire.
That's dope. That's dope. So guys, man, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure you guys go to rktappraisals.com. You feel what I'm saying? Contact my dude Rashidi in the building. Shout out to D's Nuts for the Mac Lives Matter shirt purchase. You feel me? So, this is the hoodie and shit. That's what's up. That's what's up. Anything else, Rashid, you want to say before we get up out of here?
Yeah, man, definitely take this credit thing serious, man. You do the right thing with credit, you be living the good life that you deserve. Just contact RKT Appraisals on a serious note. You know, we'll get you where you need to be and get you some money in your pocket for real. You know?
That's what's up. All right, people. So we out of here. We will see you guys